We have another micro RC helicopter that we're going to be taking a look at today. This is the UH-60 Blackhawk from Razordon, and for under $100, this helicopter comes with everything you need to get flying. And even though this helicopter is on the smaller side, they didn't forget about the details. Included is a 2.4 GHz radio with an auto takeoff and landing button, as well as a speed selection button. We also have some spare parts and tools, as well as a USB charging cable to charge our LiPo battery. And the only thing that does not come with this helicopter is the 6 AA batteries that are required for the radio. But after stealing the batteries out of all the TV remotes in the house, we're good to go. This battery hatch is actually super nice. It's easy to use and pretty seamless, keeping the overall look of the helicopter really clean. On the surface level, this helicopter looks great and has actually made a really good first impression out of the box. But of course, we have to see how good this thing actually flies. So we're out here at our local park, and we're gonna go ahead and get this UH-60 Blackhawk from Razordon in the air for the first time. We finally got ourselves a nice enough day to come out here and fly, because every time it seems like we come fly these little helicopters here at this park, it's like 20-mile-an-hour winds, and we do our best. But today we got like a max of like 6-mile-an-hour winds, which is like nice compared to the freaking just gusts that we've had like the last like 4 months. So we're gonna go ahead and see how this thing does. Hopefully, my hopes are with this, one thing, if I were to wish something, is that this does have a little bit more control, or I guess like throw, so it can go forward just a little bit faster, kind of maneuver a little bit faster. It does seem to have a good amount of speed adjustment, so we should be able to, and from what I've read and from what I've seen, it is a little bit quicker than some of the other helicopters that we've checked out here before. So let's go ahead, get this thing plugged in, powered up, and up in the air. So we're gonna power up our transmitter. We're gonna go ahead and plug in our battery. We got this nice, just little quick release front here that our LiPo battery sticks in. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. We're gonna pop our nose back on here. So we're gonna go ahead and calibrate this thing just because it does have the 6-axis gyro in it. Want to make sure that it's set up good before we go ahead and take it off for the first time. So we're gonna go ahead and initiate our throttle. So everything is powered up and bound right now. But before we go ahead and hit takeoff, we're gonna take both these sticks and bring them down and to the right. And that should have calibrated the gyro in the helicopter. So we're gonna go ahead and stand back. Get this thing powered up here. Again, just like some of the other helicopters, we're to pull our sticks down and outward. Firing up our motor. That thing is cooking. Then we're gonna go ahead and hit our takeoff button. There we are. Alrighty. Wind blowing us a little bit away here, but overall, feeling super solid. I do like the helicopters that have the actual gyro built in instead of the optical flow. The last time we were out here with a helicopter that had the optical flow sensor, which is technically just a little camera on the bottom to help position it, it got a little bit weird. But typically anything with the actual built-in gyro has handled a lot better. And already we do have way more control out of this thing than some of the other ones. We can actually get some forward speed going on here. This thing cooks. I don't know what speed setting this is on right now, so let's go ahead and see if we can change that up a bit here. So that's probably on speed 1, that's speed 2. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so we got 3 different speed mode settings. Let's put it in 3 here. Oh my gosh, this thing is insanely maneuverable compared to some of the other ones. We can get this thing cooking. Wow. So much more faster. I would say this one, with any sort of wind, can handle it a ton better than some of the other ones that we've flown. Try to bring her back down in front of us here so we can get a look at it. This thing does look really, really good too. Yeah, really happy with how controllable this one is. Still, you can dial it back to the speed 1, especially for beginner pilots here. Definitely recommended on keeping on that lower speeds, because the speed 3 does get moving pretty good. And even if you do some just pirouette action here, it does get going pretty quick. But I do like that, especially, you know, when we're flying these things outdoors, having just that bit more of authority on the actual control of this is huge. Because there's been times with some of the other helicopters that if the wind is a little bit too strong and it's getting pushed downwind, it's sometimes really difficult to get this thing back. But this thing has zero problem. Kind of getting lost in the trees over there with the olive drab paint. This is about half the forward stick. I'm gonna say it, this is probably my favorite one that we have reviewed here on the channel so far. This thing flies so good. It looks really good. It looks super scale, even for the smaller size that it is. And everything coming in under $100, dude, you can't really go wrong. Yeah, this thing cooks. Even on the pitch control here, you can get it going straight up pretty quick as well. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with this. I really like how this is handled. Let's see if we can get some more laps in here. That thing, it just moves, man. I love it. Definitely more suited for outdoor flying with some weather than some of the other ones, I will say. Again, indoor flying, you're not having to deal with that as much. Just because you don't have to deal with any sort of wind with indoor flying. So typically, you know, you're not gonna run into any issues with that, but I like to fly outdoors, especially when it's nice out like today. And to have a helicopter that's capable of handling a little bit of weather and a little bit of wind, that's a plus in my book. This thing is super fun. Gyro working overtime with the gusts of wind that we got coming in. You can see it kicking in a little bit, but it's nothing like scary. It's not like trying to overcorrect or anything like that. It is feeling pretty good. Let's see if we can go, I'm gonna dial the speed back a little bit, see if we can get it around one of these trees here. There we go. Even on the speed 1 setting, still plenty amount of control, which is awesome. It's a little bit more dialed back, almost like there's like Expo built into it. Like you still get the same amount of control, it feels like, when you push the sticks all the way. It just feels like it like dials up a good amount of Expo, so you have to move the sticks a little bit more, which isn't a bad thing. Definitely works, but then you can still get yourself, you know, out of a little bit of trouble if you need to without having to bump up the speed settings. Because I think for a beginner pilot, you know, staying in that speed 1 setting is important. And having to dial it way up to get yourself, you know, out of trouble with some wind and some of the other ones gets a little bit scary because everything gets like turned up to 100. Where this one, you can still have plenty of control from everything. You just have to move the sticks a little bit more. That way you're not having to dial up the controls to like 100 as a beginner pilot. You can still get some smoother controls out of it. All right, let's go ahead and bring this thing in for a landing. Been flying for a few minutes now. I'm not entirely sure how much battery life you get out of this. You do get some options for this. You spend a little bit more money. I think up to 3 batteries you can get with this, which is pretty neat. The one that we have here, we do have 1 battery. We've been flying for a good amount of time here, which is pretty cool. Let's see if we can go ahead and land it on our picnic table here. This does have an auto land button, so we're gonna go ahead and try that out. Just get her lined up the best that we can with the wind. Hey, not every landing's perfect, all right? The auto landing comes down pretty quick, just so you know, just in case you're trying to land it on a table or something like that. She comes down pretty quick, so just a heads up on that. But overall, this thing flew freaking great, man. This thing has been a ton of fun so far. I really enjoy the fact that it can fly outdoors. pretty much no problem. So if you want to go ahead and pick yourself up one of these UH-60 Blackhawk helicopters ready to fly with everything you need, plus a little display stand, you can go ahead and check out the link that I'll put down in the description for this. It is an affiliate link. I do get a little bit of a kickback if you do pick up one of these, but it's no extra cost to you, and it's a way to keep the channel going. It's a way to keep doing reviews like this and keep making videos just like this. So if you want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I'll leave the link down in the description below. So with all that being said, this has been the review of the UH-60 Blackhawk helicopter ready to fly from Razordon. I'm Alex from Hangar 14 RC. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you later.